It was the kind of neighborhood where people left their doors unlocked. The serene Lake Oconee community in Putnam County, Georgia, nestled in the heart of the South, was a picture of retirement bliss. Golf courses, gated entrances, and the still beauty of the water lapping gently at boat docks. Here, life moved slowly and safely. At the heart of this piece lived Russell and Shirley Dermond, married for over 6 decades. Russell, 88, a proud Navy veteran and retired businessman, and Shirley, 87, his gracious and faithful wife. They weren't flashy people. They didn't crave attention. Their days were filled with quiet joys, gardening, Sunday church, lake views, and phone calls with their grown children. To neighbors, they were a picture of devotion, the kind of couple you aspire to be at that age. But in May 2014, everything changed. It began with silence. The Dermonds hadn't shown up to a Kentucky Derby party. They weren't answering their phones. Days passed. On May 6, 2014, a concerned neighbor went to their house. Nothing was out of place. No broken windows, no alarm blaring. But as he walked into the garage, the stillness was pierced by horror. There on the floor lay Russell Dermond's body, decapitated. His head was missing. Gone. Nowhere in the house. Not in the lake. Not even to this day. Who would do this and why? As investigators descended upon the home, they realized something else. Shirley was gone. Not in the house. Not nearby. Was she kidnapped? Murdered too? Panic spread through the lakefront community. For 10 long days, police searched the water, combed the forest, and questioned every neighbor. And then, 10 days after Russell's body was found, fishermen spotted something strange floating in Lake Oconee. Jewelry and cash remained untouched. There was no sign of forced entry. There were no surveillance cameras showing strange activity. No one saw anything. The sheriff, Howard Sills, a veteran in law enforcement, was baffled. "We have a murder," he told reporters, "and then we have a mystery. This case is as strange as it gets." And it was, how did the killer, or killers, get in and out of a gated community, commit 2 brutal murders, and leave no trace? Could this have been personal? But the Dermonds had no known enemies, no feuds, no secret lives, just quiet, peaceful retirement. The Dermonds had already experienced tragedy. In 2000, their son, Mark, was murdered in Atlanta in what police called a drug-related shooting. Investigators were quick to say it was unrelated. But how could this family suffer 2 unimaginable losses? Their surviving children were shattered. "This doesn't happen to people like us," their son Brad said through tears. "It doesn't happen to people like my mom and dad." Their daughter Leslie added, "We just want answers. We want to know who could do this, and why." Their pain echoed across the country, leaving many to ask, could it happen to any of us? As investigators combed to the Dermond home, the physical evidence raised even more questions than it answered. There were no signs of a struggle, no broken windows, no blood trails throughout the house. Just Russell's body, decapitated in the garage. There was no indication of how his head was removed, but experts believed it was done with unusual precision, suggesting either medical knowledge or calm, calculated cruelty. Strangely, no gunshot residue was found, but authorities still believe Russell may have been shot in the head, and the decapitation was a way to destroy the forensic trail, including the bullet. It was a theory that felt like something out of a crime novel, not a lakeside retirement community. Then came Shirley's body, floating eerily in the lake, concrete blocks tied to her limbs. Her autopsy revealed no signs of sexual assault, no gunshot wounds, only blunt force trauma to the head, suggesting the killer used a heavy object and wanted her body to disappear. The most unsettling part? There was no trace of entry or exit. The Dermonds community was gated and secure, with private guards and limited access. No alarms were tripped. No neighbors saw suspicious vehicles. No strange voices were heard. It was as if the killer, or killers, had melted into the lake air. To this day, Sheriff Sills maintains that more than one person must have been involved. The logistics alone, moving 2 elderly bodies, one of them down to a dock and out onto the lake, would have been difficult for one individual, especially with no noise, no mess. Whoever did this had help, and they had a plan, he told reporters in 2022. And that's what makes it terrifying. Just when it seemed this case would fade into history, a break came in 2024. In a press briefing, authorities revealed DNA evidence had been recovered from items found near Russell Dermond's body. After advanced testing, it was confirmed the DNA belonged to neither victim. This wasn't speculation. It was a genetic fingerprint, real biological evidence of someone else at the crime scene. That discovery reopened the case in new ways. The sample was sent to advanced forensic labs for analysis, and genealogical tracking was initiated to identify the individual or their relatives. Could this be the lead that finally cracks the case? Could a name, even a distant cousin, open the door to long-awaited justice? The world is watching. This isn't just a mystery, it's a heartbreak. The Dermond family has lived in the shadow of these murders for over a decade. They buried two parents, endured public speculation, and still they wait for answers. In interviews, their surviving children speak with a mix of grief, anger, and resolve. "We don't want revenge," Brad said. "We want truth. We want to know why." They remain hopeful that the killer will be brought to justice, that someone will come forward, that the silence will break. The Dermond case lingers in the soul of Lake Oconee. A once idyllic community now wears a scar. Neighbors lock doors more tightly. Boats sit still in the water at night. And across Georgia and the true crime world, people ask, could it happen again? Could it happen to me? This is why the story matters. Not just because it's brutal, not just because it's unsolved, but because it reminds us how fragile safety can be and how important it is to seek justice, even after years of silence. The FBI continues to offer a $20,000 reward for any information leading to an arrest and conviction in this case. Sheriff Sills says he will not rest until it is solved. Brain, do you know something? Did someone say something strange back then? Have you heard confession in whispers? Even the smallest tip could be the one that finally brings peace to the Dermond family. If you're watching this, reading this, sharing this, you might be part of the answer. From the outset, investigators face a perplexing crime scene. Russell Dermond's decapitated body was found in the garage, with no signs of forced entry or a struggle inside the home. The absence of his head suggested an attempt to conceal ballistic evidence, as gunshot residue was found on his collar, indicating he was likely shot before decapitation. Shirley Dermond's body, discovered 10 days later in Lake Oconee, was weighted down with concrete blocks, indicating a calculated effort to prevent its discovery. The autopsy revealed she died from blunt force trauma to the head. Despite thorough searches and interviews, no substantial leads emerged. The lack of forensic evidence, combined with the meticulous nature of the crime, led Sheriff Howard Sills to believe that multiple individuals were involved and that the perpetrators were familiar with the Dermond's routines and the community's layout. The brutal nature of the murders sent shockwaves through the Great Waters Reynolds community. Residents, previously accustomed to a sense of security, grappled with fear and uncertainty. The Dermond surviving children were devastated. Their son, Brad, expressed the family's anguish and confusion, emphasizing the senselessness of the crime and pleading for anyone with information to come forward. The family has consistently cooperated with law enforcement, hoping for closure. In May 2024, a significant development emerged. Investigators discovered new DNA evidence near Russell's body that did not belong to him. This discovery, currently being analyzed by a Texas lab, offers a renewed sense of hope in solving the case. However, it's uncertain whether the DNA sample is sufficient for a national database or genealogical search. The FBI has reiterated its commitment to the case, offering a $20,000 reward for information leading to an arrest and conviction. Sheriff Sills remains resolute, stating that he will not rest until justice is served. If you have any information related to the Dermond case, please contact the Putnam County Sheriff's Office or the FBI. Even the smallest detail could be the key to unlocking this decade-old mystery. Would you like assistance in transforming this narrative into a compelling YouTube script or podcast episode? I can help craft an engaging introduction, suggest visual elements, and provide a structured outline to captivate your audience.